Hey guys, so I've been wanting to do this video for a while, and the reason I haven't done it is because, to tell you the truth, I haven't been driving for Lyft. So this is my take on driving for Lyft and what I've noticed in the differences between Uber and Lyft, or just the Lyft platform in general. Now, this is only my experience, so if you experience something different, please feel free to add to this. And if I've made a mistake in something, feel free to sort of try to take it away. Basically, feel free to comment and give me your advice and your experiences as I'm sharing with you here today. So basically, just driving with Lyft, I've noticed that in some areas it's really busy, especially here in Williamsburg. I am ultimately surprised. I will run both apps at the same time, and Lyft will be going bing, 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 and Uber is just sitting there going, well, spinning. So that's a really good news for me, or for anybody, is that you have the dual platforms to work off of. Now, right away, the first thing I'm not crazy about Lyft is that it'll say, ride 6 minutes away. Well, that 6 minutes could be 6 minutes of straight traffic around the block. And Uber gives you a little map and shows you exactly where. And I tell you what, I am selective on the trips I choose according to one thing, their location to me. So if they're 10 minutes away, no, absolutely decline. Just go ahead and decline it. I don't let it just sit and run out. Lyft gives you what seems to be a little more time to accept the ride, where Uber is just so darn fast, man. Sometimes you can't even push the button quick enough. So there's pros and cons. Lyft gives you a little more time, but they do not tell you where they are. They just say how many minutes. And you know what? Just because the map says 6 minutes doesn't mean it's 6 minutes. So I really try to accept rides here in New York or in Brooklyn or something within a 4-minute span. I just feel like, I can wait another minute to catch one that's closer, because you never know where they're going to go. And they could be only going 10 minutes away, and you just drove 10 minutes. Anyway. We have the luxury here in New York and Brooklyn and so forth to do this. Okay, let's move on a little bit. One thing I did notice that I'm bouncing off of the two apps is that Uber, for instance, when you get it going in the morning, it seems like it has a bit of an algorithm. I hate to overexpress that word, but that's true. It seems like it just keeps going, and you get better and better trips as the day goes on. But then when you're doing Lyft, as I find it really busy here in the morning, then I'm trying to hop on Uber like 9 a.m. and it's already like, you know what, you lost the ball, buddy. It'll just give me little trips or none, and Lyft is going crazy. So that's kind of interesting to know. If I kind of feel like Uber will give to those who really get started earlier, and I can't base any theory on this, but this is just kind of how I feel. With that. One thing that's super cool that Lyft has, and it has the option for the customer to add their photo. Now, this is great. This is exactly what Uber needs to adapt to, because, say, Mary Ann, I'm going to a corner, and every corner in New York here is busy. Who is Mary Ann? Well, I got a picture of her, and I got a slight description. So that's super cool. I like that about it. But overall, in general, Uber and Lyft are the same type of platforms, if you will. There are the differences, and I'm sort of kind of going over the two. But I hold in high regard my Lyft profile, my rating, 4.98 after over 700 rides. So if it comes down to it, if it's a Lyft or an Uber, I'll choose the Uber. Sometimes I'll click on Lyft. It says it's like 6 minutes away. It turns out to be 10. And if I'm not even there yet and Uber gives me a ride just up, on the same street, I'm going to admit I'll cancel the Lyft and I'll go to the Uber. If the roles were reversed, I would not cancel my Uber and I would stick with it. So if that makes any sense to you, I'm just feeling like, I know I respect all platforms and don't want to cancel on anybody, but I'm playing the two off of each other, and Uber is ultimately my bread and butter, I would say, at this point. These things could change, but that's really it, The one thing I do not like about Lyft is it accepts rides automatically. I am, and you should be too, in control of your rides, who you're picking up, when you're picking them up, and where you're picking them up at. And as an automatic queue thing, it just ride accepted? No, I'm just gonna cancel. No. So I asked a few questions, and you have to turn off your Lyft after your first ride or any ride. I'll just let it roll and cancel it out if I'm not. But if most of the time, like, okay. But one time it was like, okay, I don't personally. Well, let me just start off by saying I'm driving Uber black car. I'm still riding 90% X. And that's just because that's what I'm used to, and I will be doing a video on just black, and I will be dedicating time just to do that. But as of right now, I'm not doing it. Just learning the Lyft platform. So you see, I'm taking things in baby steps. So bear with me on that. I will be excluding, just going exclusively for black, but not at the moment. But that being said, I don't do Uber pools. First of all, the car, the BMW that I have, is not well suited for many passengers. It's good for 1 or 2 luxury passengers. Pool, I have not done one single one with this car. I will not do a pool. And an automatic queue, guess what? It threw in a shared ride. Delete. I'm sorry. You're going to be standing there, and all of a sudden you're going to have to find another driver. So, Lyft, get that together. But also with Uber, when you're pulling up or you're leaving, somebody asks you to rate the passenger. My theory is I rate everybody 5 stars. Do what you want to do. That's just what I do. Because everybody is a 5-star in my book because they're the customer, but very seldomly will I rate anyone. I mean, very seldomly will I rate anyone bad. But a Lyft, you can go back and rate your passengers and leave comments, not as you drop them off. So, good or bad, I'm not sure about that one yet. Let's see. Oh, one thing is kind of cool with Lyft versus Uber. Okay, Uber, you got Google Uber here, and then you want to navigate to Google Maps. So you got to go to this screen, and then you get a ride, and you got to go back to Uber, and then you've missed it. Well, Lyft has Google Maps within inside of it, so you don't miss a ride. And I like the way that it gives you more time, and it kind of I set the light on, so it's make noise. So I always know on my iPad I'll have Uber, on my phone I'll have Lyft, and I can go through and be sitting in somewhere on the side of the road and checking my emails, and I'll still get that Lyft call and I can get it. Now if I were to do that with Uber, by the time I switched apps that quickly, I've lost the Uber ride. So good one on that one for you, Lyft. I think that's pretty much the gist of what I've noticed. The difference is the payout seems to be exactly the same. You can do that quickly, effortlessly. Overall, I like the platform, and I like working the two off of each other, and there really isn't much of a difference as a driver, per se, except for some of these quirks that you can ultimately get used to. But so guys, that's my take on it, and please feel free. Like I said, I'm just getting started with Lyft, so these things are sort of new to me, and it's also kind of good to kind of put them down as they're fresh in your head as something is new. So if you like what you're seeing here, please feel free to subscribe, share this channel with people that are thinking about doing Uber here in New York or that do it anywhere else. And I would love for you guys just just say hey, give a shout out, say hey, what's up, would love to hear from you, and let's keep it cruising on the road.